Hey, welcome back. We're the Kanpai Guys. This is our first Korea episode in the Asia series.
Today we're going to be trying out some Korean staple items. Our first alcohol in this series is makgeolli, which is a fermented liquor made from rice. We're also going to be trying out Jajangmeon, which is a kind of black bean noodle. We also have rice cakes served with the same sauce, Jajangmeon, which is going to be more of a unique rice cake. And what video could be complete without
Kimchi.
Yeah, so we have fermented Korean cabbage, looks pretty spicy, and this one is from a very famous department store in Japan. So Alex, all the food is prepared. We have the two janjan dishes and the kimchi.
Ooh, it all looks very good.
It does. Have you had jajangmeon before?
Jajangmeon, no I haven't. Is that at all similar to tanpanmen?
It's not, I don't think so.
Okay.
So jajangmeon is more of a dried noodle dish, and it dates back to 1905. The word janjan comes from the Chinese word chaojiang. This word means fried sauce. So as you can see, it's a dry noodle and it has a very dark sauce. The dark sauce is coming from like fermented black beans, like black bean sauce in Chinese food, I think. Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of like dry noodles.
Okay.
So
you might dig this.
Yeah, this looks really good.
In Korea, this dish is usually served with handmade noodles, and the sauce comes from black beans, soy sauce, and oyster sauce. It's often topped with an egg, and I think it's often also served with pork usually, but you might be able to add other meats. Yeah, I think when most people think of Korean food, they'll think of kimchi. They'll think of japchae, which is the potato noodle, Topokki. But this black bean noodle is very popular in Korea. And I've seen a bunch of movies where people eat it in the movie. They actually eat it in Parasite. Did you watch Parasite?
Not yet.
No.
Feels like a sin at this point.
There's a scene because they're rich in Parasite. She asks her like nanny to prepare the instant one, but add like wagyu or some very high level beef on top of it. So even the rich eat this instant one. So we have the same sauce with Korean rice cakes over here. If you don't know much about rice cakes, please check out our other videos. We had the pink rocket video where we had carbonara flavor, the regular flavor. What would you like to try first?
Let's go for the noodles first.
So this noodle actually has some pieces of seaweed inside, I can see.
I can see it and I can actually smell it too.
The first thing I smelt when I opened this was the seaweed.
Yeah.
So I made this obviously without adding the sauce. The seaweed was actually with the noodles, it wasn't in a sachet or anything. And unlike seaweed in Japanese noodles, this is like whole pieces of seaweed. This was about 200 yen, so $2.
Itadakimasu.
Itadakimasu.
Wow, that's not at all what I expected.
So on the packaging is like some kind of mascot. Is it a fox or something?
It must be a fox or like a raccoon, like a tanuki. But are there tanuki in Korea?
don't know, sorry, tanuki. Tanuki is a Japanese raccoon.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Actually, it does look like a tanuki. In the noodle, there is a little fish cake of his face.
Oh my god, you're right. There is.
I think this is like a kamaboko or a fish cake.
Yeah.
No, fish cake.
How would you describe the flavor of this? It's not at all what I expected.
It's almost got like a umami black soy sauce, almost like a burnt taste.
It's like the burnt caramelized sauce from the bottom of the pan
Yeah,
mixed with noodles.
it almost has like a Vegemite taste, like a
Jeez.
Marmite taste.
You squeezy Marmite.
If you're from the UK, you're probably very familiar with Marmite. You must have had it at least once. If you're from Australia, you would have had Vegemite. And probably you might have had chicken in black bean sauce, which is a Chinese dish. I think that's like served in like a lot of Chinese takeaway shops in the States too. This is like somewhere between Marmite and that dish. Somewhere in the middle.
It's very interesting. You know, just looking at it, it looks like yakisoba.
Does not taste
It's
like
not
yakisoba.
yakisoba.
It does have like a umami, like you get from fermented food.
It doesn't have like the tanginess of
No,
yakisoba at all. It's not tangy.
it's not sweet at all.
No. It's like a
Like bitter.
bitter, slightly like burnt or singed, very oily.
It's oily because there were two sachets. So one was the black bean sauce, and the other was there was a sachet of chili oil in this. So that's where the heat's coming from.
Okay, yeah, it is slightly spicy.
It's a little seafoody from the seaweed.
Yep.
Does this like make you want to try the real like restaurant version of
Yeah,
this dish?
I'd be interested. I'd imagine it tastes pretty similar to this version. Maybe just better quality.
I believe how this is served in Korea, it's not served mixed. So you get like a bowl of just plain noodles and the black bean sauce on top with like meat added, and you got to mix it up.
I do like it.
I do like it as well.
Yeah.
I can see it like something that would grow.
Yeah, exactly. So the rice cake is the same flavor, right?
Next dish we're going to try out is the Janjan rice cake.
Okay, texture-wise, it's similar to the other ones we've tried. This one is sweeter than the noodles.
I feel like the taste is very different to the noodle one. It doesn't have like the burnt, like singy taste. It's more soy saucy, like sweet soy sauce. It's also a little spicy. There's some kind of chili taste in here.
I gotta say, this is better than I imagined. It's spicier too. It's spicier than the noodles. I can taste the relation. I wonder if the legit noodle dish varies this much from, like, say, restaurant to restaurant.
You mean like in Korea the Jajangmeon, like the taste is quite different wherever you get it?
Right.
I would imagine so. Well, that is a segue into kimchi. Like whichever brand of kimchi you buy, or even whichever restaurant you go to, and probably whichever family makes it themselves, it's going to taste different, isn't it? Like, very different, I would think. Like I've never had like two brands of kimchi that have tasted the same, to be honest. There's always something different. I guess we should introduce what kimchi is. So kimchi is the staple dish of Korea. It's a side dish. It's fermented cabbage. It can be other vegetables too, so they use daikon sometimes, daikon radish or cucumber, I think, squid even. So it doesn't even have to be vegetables.
Yeah, you can get it with squid.
It's basically usually flavored with, I think, anchovies or some kind of fish. It's fermented over a long time. The more fermented it becomes, the more sour it becomes. So if you get like a very sour one, it's because it's been fermented a long time. And the kimchi we get in Japan is often not as spicy as the one in Korea.
I've had several variations of Japanese kimchi. Most of them I really like. There are some that are a little too sour for me.
I prefer, of course, more on the spicy side. In Korea, I think it's eaten like with breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So, like in Japan, how rice is can be in like every dish of the day. Kimchi is very much like that, but it is kind of a very super healthy food.
It's very versatile too. You can eat it with rice. You can eat it mixed with
Noodles
yeah, like kimchi udon,
with yakiniku,
yakiniku.
side dish with barbecue, with Korean
You
barbecue.
can throw it into like a hot pot.
You can put it in an onigiri, in a rice ball.
Yeah. You can put it into takoyaki.
You can put it into tacos,
Yeah.
like in California. Korean tacos. You can put it on pizza.
You can put it on a salad. Why not?
Basically anything you can put it on. One of my favorite things in Japan is buta kimchi. So buta is pork. And
Yes.
it's kimchi stir fried with pork.
Yes.
Sesame oil.
That's great.
Alright, so next we're going to try makgeolli. Makgeolli is basically a fermented liquor made from rice. This one is made by Suntory actually. So this is a Japanese maker's makgeolli. But this one actually did win an award. It won the #1 prize at the Seoul Makolli Association Korean Traditional Makgeolli Award. We can get makgeolli from Korea in Japan. It's usually from Jinro, but recently this brand is also popular, and it's called Seoul Makolli.
ねえマスター日本の女性好き
嫌い嘘大好き特にあなたが振ってスッキリましたよソウルマコリ
Is this at all comparable to Japanese sake?
I guess the closest thing it would be amazake.
Okay, like the sweet Japanese sake.
Yeah, like sweet white sake.
Like the very like cloudy type
Yes,
Okay.
yeah, that has like clouds of like white stuff.
stuff. Rice gunk. That's what you'd say.
I'm not a massive fan of amazake, and it's more for like health properties.
Yeah, it's
People drink it for health.
it's non-alcoholic.
It's
right?
non-alcoholic,
Yeah.
yeah. So it's actually part of the Japanese Dole Festival, I believe. It's a traditional drink. In Korea, they often drink it in plastic bottles. So you have like a litre plastic white bottle. It's very cheap. This one is a carbonated makgeolli. Sometimes they're not carbonated. This one is a sparkling one. Be careful, on the back they have some preparation you have to do. So you have to kind of rotate it like this 4 or 5 times. I think it's so the sediment on the bottom mixes in. Do the same thing with the plastic bottle, so you turn it upside down and just like rotate it like that. Cheers.
Kanpai.
Kanpai. It's pretty good. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
a little sweet.
it almost has like a yogurt taste to it,
Yeah, I've heard that before about makgeolli.
like a drinkable yogurt,
Mm.
like a watered down yogurt.
Might be a little shocking the first time. This one is not as intense as some other makgeollis.
Also, I don't think Suntory is gonna put out anything that'll like knock your socks off.
Maybe we should check some Amazon reviews though. Just a little bit of PR from Suntory about this. They describe this as having a gentle sweetness and a clean taste that's easy to drink. The sweetness is derived from lactic acid, the characteristic of makgeolli, and this product utilizes a unique technology to achieve a refreshing mouth of raw makgeolli that meets the taste of Japanese people. The exhilarating taste of carbonated derived from fermentation is a mainstream in Korea. Because of its short expiration date and difficult quantity control, it is the status, not a spelling mistake, that is not widely distributed in Japan. 6% alcohol.
Yeah.
That's a pretty common percentage for makgeolli. They usually go from like 5 to 7% in my experience. Alex, would you
Yeah.
like to read a couple of Amazon reviews?
Reviews, okay.
These are from Amazon Japan, as always. So these are Japanese consumers of makgeolli. There is quite a difference of opinion online about this. But this actually has about 50 reviews, I think, on Amazon.
Oh, not bad. 1 out of 5 stars. Title: I did my best and drink. I was recommended by a close relative, so I drank it together. I have strong liquor and I usually get whiskey, awamori, tequila, etc. So I drank it with the expectation that this makgeolli will also join the brewery list. But it is ridiculous. When I thought that the fermented smell similar to yogurt got on my nose, the sweetly seasoned cold medicine I drank when I was a child spread in my mouth. And my expression was distorted unexpectedly. I could not leave it in front of my relatives. It is unnatural to drink it at all once. All at once? So I did my best while cheating unusual taste. I can enjoy most alcohol, but I don't accept all of this. It is a shame. 1 star.
This guy took it seriously.
This person's having childhood flashbacks.
Yeah, traumatic memories of being like force-fed yogurt or something. And it did not join his brewery list.
Our next review. 2 out of 5 stars. Title. This taste is trash. I'm just kidding. It says, this taste is harsh.
That'd be a 1 star, would it not be?
Honestly, this taste is harsh. It has a sweet and sour taste and does not go well with Japanese food. If you mix mozzarella juice, it will taste drinkable to a certain extent, and if you think of it as a kind of cocktail, it is not good, but you do not dare to choose and drink this liquor.
Do not dare. This person made a big mistake.
I got 24 bottles.
Why did you do that? Why? Why did you do that, Karen?
But I'm in trouble with what to do. It was such a product.
Sweat emoji.
This person thinks it doesn't go well with Japanese food.
I think you're to blame if you order 24 bottles of a drink you've never had before.
Yeah, who would do that? This person.
It's interesting about the Japanese food comment. So you'll notice a lot of the alcohol we've reviewed on this channel so far, the whiskies in particular, they're always marketed as going with food. But in Western countries, we almost never talk about alcohol like that, especially whiskey or something.
Right.
It's just for drinking. We have 2 5-star reviews.
Title. People with funny taste. There are many people whose taste buds are funny. It's delicious, but a little expensive. I'm wondering whether to buy it. Wait, did this person not buy it?
Buy more of it? I mean, they reviewed it. So. By people with funny taste, do they mean the people with the reviews above them?
It seems like it.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah. Okay, next review. 5 out of 5 stars. I like the most in Seoul Makolli. This Suntory's Seoul Makolli is really delicious. I'm addicted to having to diet. And I drink every day at night. I used it because it was harder to get it at nearby stores than before. It would be nice if it was a little cheaper.
Is this dieting drink?
Is it?
I don't think so.
I'd have to say my opinion on this makgeolli is kind of right in the middle of the 1 stars and the 5 stars.
I guess I'm more of a makgeolli drinker, right? So
Yeah. I've only had it a couple times, so.
I always get it with barbecue in Japan. Cook it yourself barbecue in Japan. It goes really well with that, greasy food, cuts the grease a little bit. This kimchi I bought at Takashimaya, which is a very popular and widespread department store all over Japan. They're known for their more high quality products. And the reason I got this one was it said this is the traditional Korean recipe.
Visually, it looks like what you can find at the convenience store.
Like this. This one is not so sour.
It does taste very fresh.
Not so spicy either.
It's not.
No.
It tastes like a more mild version.
Like it tastes good quality.
I was expecting something much spicier than this.
Me too.
Like on a spice scale, it's like a 1, I think.
It's building a little the
Really?
more I eat.
Now this variation is the hokusai, so it's the white Chinese cabbage.
Yeah, which is the most common, most popular form of kimchi.
I personally prefer kimchi spicier than this,
Me too.
but I still give this a thumbs up. It's very good, very fresh. Probably the freshest kimchi I've ever tried.
Tastes like it came from a department store. Yeah.
Is that a jab or is that a compliment?
Both.
Okay.
Shall we do some Kanpai scores? Jajangmeon instant noodles. I actually liked it a lot, so I'm going to go 8.
I will go 7.
The next item we tried was the Janjan Topokki. 6.
I'm gonna go with a 7.
Seoul Makolli. I'm a little biased because I've had this like lots of times, and I prefer it to Jinro, which is the actual Korean brand. But I like the other Korean brands much more than this one. I'll go 6.
I'm gonna go 4.
4? Well,
Four.
no, it's not a 7. You did say you were kind of in the middle on this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It kind of has a artificial sweetener taste to it.
You wouldn't get that
Canned
in
version.
real macaroni. So.
I've had it before and that wasn't in there. So
Yeah, it's probably to help it last longer. Kimchi is quite tricky actually to give a Kanpai score to, I think. It could be much spicier. 5.
I'm gonna go 6. If it were spicier, I would go 9.
We hope you enjoyed our first Korea video of our Asian series. Our next video will be coming out next Sunday, which will be a big snack haul and some vinegary drinks.
Again, it will be a Korea video.
If you enjoyed the video, please give us a like. And if it's your first time watching the channel, please consider subscribing. Don't forget to hit the bell notification icon for updates.
And until next time.
See you in part 2.